Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Wrestle Talk with Bear and BDuB. This is BDuB and Bear. We up here get ready to bring you our top 50 superstars in the WWE. Now, you saw us debate over the Wrestling Observers list the last show. Last time Bear and I was together. For those who don't know, Bear took a mini vacation. Actually, it wasn't vacation, it was more like work for him. Vacation from the show. Shout out to B. Ryan for filling in. But, what we did, we criticized the Wrestling Observers list. One thing, their list, it wasn't clear. We didn't know which direction they were going. Like, Harley Race was number 6. I still don't understand why. Hulk Hogan number 23. I mean, what you're trying to say is like Michael Jordan, the second greatest basketball player of all time. But that's another story. So, let's make all this clear. This is the top WWE superstars, meaning overall impact and entertainment ability, as well as wrestlability combined, and the type of impact they had on the WWE. Obviously, it'd be for a longer show if we give you all 50 wrestlers. We don't want to bore the fans out there. So we're going to give you the top 20. And, you know, just like Bear always does, he's going to be the rebel and everything. You know, I put together a list, but this jabroni didn't even put together a list, so.
I didn't have time. I apologize to y'all. I really did, but me being who I am, you can best believe that I laid a smack down on his list, and that's the bottom line because I said so.
Yeah, okay. So let's move right into it. Number 20, biggest impact in the WWE. I said Mick Foley. The 3 faces of Foley at the Royal Rumble. Hell in a Cell.
Mick Foley,
all together. Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mike Foley, Mick Foley.
The guy who they show leaving the arena scratching his butt, Mick Foley.
You can't say he didn't have an impact. What you saying, he's not on your list at all?
Mick Foley was a wonderful entertainer. I do believe that Ric Flair said it best when he was a glorified stuntman. You know, so he's a good wrestler, but I don't think he's going to be on anyone's list unless you just like Mick Foley.
Not no list, not even the wrestler part.
Yeah, he'll make a list.
Okay.
Hardcore list.
Well, he was the definition of hardcore wrestling.
Well, if we was talking about hardcore wrestling, then I would talk about Mick Foley. But since we're not, we're talking about the top 20 or 50, whatever we're doing.
We're doing 20 in the WWE of all time.
Then Mick Foley doesn't make that list.
And in the Attitude Era, hardcore wrestling was big. And he brought that to the main stage for the WWE Championship.
Yeah, sure. It was big.
Halftime Heat.
It was big in that era, but it was also in the same eras of your Stone Colds, your Rocks. You know,
and he went
Mick Foley was more so a comedian.
He went toe to toe with Austin and The Rock.
He doesn't cut it in this one. In
all right, well, who's your number 20?
My number 20 would have to be somebody that captivated the audience. My number 20 would have to be somebody that you were able to. He was able to pull emotion out of you. So I would say my number 20 is MVP.
Tell me he did not just say that. Tell me he did not just say that. MVP.
Alright. Badass Billy Gunn.
They really want to know who's number 20?
My number 20 of all time.
Shawn Michaels.
No. My number 20, and this might be a bit of a stretch, but I will say Edge.
Okay.
Edge is my number 20.
He's my 18, so I ain't
but for the reasons that I said, he could. You know, he make you angry. He'll make people want to jump that guardrail. He pulled Lita Titty out on Monday Night Raw. So, you know, Edge, number 20.
Well, he's my number 18, so. But let's move.
I still think B.A. Billy Gunn should make your list, though.
Number 19. Number 19. Billy, Bob, but my name's Billy.
What's your number 19?
Pat Patterson, first Intercontinental Champion.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue with that.
I mean, the name says itself. Pat Patterson, first Intercontinental Champion. I think his legacy was overshadowed by him being such a stooge during the Attitude Era, and people forgot that, you know, he was a great wrestler. That's all I got to say about that. Number 17, you know, this guy was known for these words, and something that me and Bear always have, and that is a failure to communicate. You don't know who that is. Mr. Wrestling Encyclopedia himself.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Looked like he took it in his wardrobe.
I took it in. What you mean by that?
I mean, the colors, you know.
Well, this is polo.
Well, you know.
The gator shoes are downstairs.
But you know what? Number 17 on the list. He wrestled at WrestleMania 1 in the main event. Wrestled at WrestleMania 2 in a boxing match. He also went on to WrestleMania 8 to lose the WWE Intercontinental Champion to my favorite wrestler, Bret the Hitman Hart. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know who I'm talking about the hot rod, Roddy Piper.
You know, I think that with Roddy Piper, a lot of his antics overlook his success. I mean, he was a 3-time United States champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion. You know, so I won't disagree with it. You said that's number 18.
Yeah. 17.
17. I won't disagree with it. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Piper was good. And if you haven't checked out his DVD, I suggest you go out there and get it. It's a great one. My number 16, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
you know,
Lord.
And, you know, this guy was just what his name said he was. Absolutely perfect.
You had Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect.
Number 16.
16.
On your list.
Yep.
Mr. Perfect should have been in the top 10.
Top 10, okay, I hear you.
Mr. Perfect, former AWA heavyweight champion.
Talking about his WWE career. I mean,
2-time Intercontinental champion.
Not first, but yeah, 2-time Intercontinental champion.
I mean, this guy could tell a story in the ring.
He could.
And he was absolutely perfect.
But like I said, this
is the only guy I've ever seen in my life throw a football, he run and catch it.
I did that.
We're not talking about on Madden.
You're probably surprised by his home run where he hits not too far, huh? His home run he hit about 100 feet on camera.
Yeah.
You know, I hit 300 feet, but that's a different story. Number 15.
We are not talking about RBI baseball.
I never played that. I'm a MLB The Show type of guy. My number 15. I know all you young fans out there might be disappointed. So, just by the fact that I say young fans, you should already know who it is. John Cena. I mean, this guy deserves a spot. What?
You have John Cena above Mr. Perfect?
Slightly. Very slightly, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, send y'all thoughts to BDuB.
Send them. You know, that's what I like.
I don't understand that, but Mr. Perfect would have killed the kid.
I don't know. I mean, 2 different eras, but, you know, Cena took wrestling to a different level. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a quick commercial break. We'll be back after these messages. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Had to pay a couple of bills. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, before I give you my number 14 wrestler, just want to let you guys know, for all you interested in talk shows, Especially, you know, we got a lot of women fans out there. So first and foremost, thank you for joining our show. But I also want to invite you to take a look at a couple of friends of mine. It's titled The AC Ray Show. Great show. They talk about all different topics. And guys, you should check it out too, just to get a woman's perspective on things. But let's move on to number 14, because I know Bear is going to be very, very upset when he finds out.
I'm already upset.
My 14th wrestler.
I'm already upset. You had John Cena above Mr. Perfect.
I told you it was a slight decision, but you should be happy that this man is above John Cena. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy was the first guy to win the Royal Rumble and become the champion. That alone should tell you who it is. I'm not going to delay it no more. Ladies and gentlemen, woo! The Nature Boy Ric Flair.
He should have been number 1.
Not in the WWE. Not during his WWE days.
But I am happy that he is above John Cena.
Yeah. I'm glad it made you happy. So, any more words of wisdom you want to throw out there?
John Cena sucks.
Well, with that being said, my number 13 is a guy who was known for his evil laugh. This guy was probably the best heel of all time, if not definitely the best heel of the 80s and in the 90s. This guy would just sit up there and make you hate him. And his famous lines was, "Everybody's got a price." $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
That's the number 15.
13.
13. I thought, I see him on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I see him on the list. He was the best heel they probably had. You know.
You could say ever and have a legitimate
Well, I'm not
argument.
going to say ever, because there have been some really, really good heels. But,
Owen Hart being one of them.
But, at 13, I don't see Ted DiBiase. No, not at 13. Maybe about 8 or 7.
8 or 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
8 or 7. Because Ted DiBiase never went face. He stayed heel and had tremendous success with it. He never came out his character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he never compromised like so many wrestlers do. You know, especially nowadays. He stayed the $1 Million Man. He was involved in some of the best feuds I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he should have been a couple notches up.
Okay. Well,
He's deserving to be over Ric Flair.
yeah, that says a lot coming from him.
So
Now, before I move on, could you imagine him ever as champion? How you think that?
I would love for the $1 Million Man to be the heavyweight champion. He was for about 5 seconds.
I think it would have been longer than 5 seconds for the time it took Jack Tunney to come out there and tell him.
I would have liked to see him as champion. Of course, no one will ever really know why he wasn't champion. But he's the $1 Million Man. He didn't need that belt when he made his own.
Everybody's got a price. Now, my number 12 is the man who was Madison Square Garden. The man who, you can make an argument, built the WWE. At the time, the WWF. I think you should already know who this guy is.
I'm assuming you're talking about Bruno Sammartino.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bruno Sammartino.
Actually, I probably would have held Bruno lower. I would have put Bruno lower. Not because of his accomplishments, because, you know, ain't nobody in the history of wrestling going to win the title in 48 seconds and hold it for 8 years. That's never going to happen again.
Okay.
Notwithstanding, like I said, his accomplishments, but you take a look at the period of time.
Yeah.
It still wasn't considered sports entertainment.
I got you.
And if you didn't have that person in your life that was watching wrestling, then you kind of came after that person, you wouldn't know who Bruno Sammartino is. I could probably talk to any one of the fans out there that, you know, tune into the show, you know, and I ask them, who's Adrian Adonis?
Let me ask you something. You think the Wrestling Roundtable know about Bruno Sammartino?
I think they do. I
just wanted to see. I mean,
I'm not going to take nothing away from him.
You guys have just earned his respect.
I'm not going to take nothing away from him. The Wrestling Roundtable, I'm sure they know about people like Bruno Sammartino. They might know about a Buddy Rogers. They might know about a Luthez, but they also know about Stridex.
You're not just talking because the WWE used to advertise them all the time, are you? Talking about firsthand?
Nah, I'm talking about firsthand. You can see that guy's face.
Now, moving on.
You know, like Bastion Booger. Or Damien Demento.
My number 11.
Or Waylon Mercy. Your live is in Waylon Mercy's hands.
Number 11. This guy could be made an argument. Who could be number 1? But I have him for 11 for a reason, because this is our opinion.
This is actually your list. I'm just critiquing your list. Maybe in a later show we'll do mine.
Yeah.
Because when I do mine, mine's going to be star-studded. It's going to be, woo! It's going to be bright lights. It's going to be big cities. It's going to be pretty ladies.
Yeah, Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels coming together. You don't even need to. You already know who this list going to be. Number 11. This guy was an Olympic gold medalist. You know, when he first came, he was brought in as the first real athlete. You remember when people used to say that? Mm-hmm. You guys know it's Kurt Angle. Obviously, it's not.
And what number?
11. I know I'm gonna make him mad with my number 10, folks. I know
that's about right for Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle, natural wrestler. Kurt Angle. I actually thought Kurt Angle was pretty entertaining. Mm-hmm. I thought he was pretty entertaining, and you know, Kurt Angle. He was the best in the world, best at what he did. He still is.
And
Kurt Angle's one of my favorite wrestlers.
I think he got better when he went to TNA.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I think so. I think it's, you know, because
I think it hurt him going to TNA.
I'm just saying, like, skill-wise. And no, I think it's...
I don't.
You know, I do.
I totally disagree with Kurt Angle. I understand why he went to TNA. You know, he doesn't have to worry about the travel. They're kind of, you know, right on the corner of Broadway and Greenmount. So, you know, he know where they at. He don't have to worry about the traveling constantly and the demand that, you know, WWE wrestlers have. I get that.
Right.
But I think that him leaving and going down there, it really hurt his career. Kurt Angle is better than anybody in TNA. I think the only person that can give him a run for his money in TNA, and yeah, I'm saying it, is AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Other than that, no one else can touch him.
That's true.
Why he would, and he's not their champion, doesn't make sense to me. I think it hurt his career.
But I just think that if he was still climbing, still so much, even if you put him in the WWE, I think him and Cena would have made some memorable matches. He would have probably taught Cena a lot more. I would like to even see him take on a Drew McIntyre or a Sheamus, you know.
Yeah, I think,
or even a John Morrison.
And see, I think, again, that's why I say what I say. It hurt him because if you look at your Triple H's, if you look at your Shawn Michaels, I can't say your favorite wrestler because he didn't do it, but if you look at, you know, I can't say that Hulk Hogan is your favorite wrestler, but he didn't do it. If you look at a lot of that successful guys, Undertaker, Kane, Rock, Stone Cold, guys like this, when they were there, when they were on top, they were on top. But as that slowly started coming to an end, and you're going to find this out with Undertaker in the upcoming months and years, they give back.
Right.
Bret Hart ain't give back.
This ain't about Bret.
Hogan ain't give back.
What? This ain't about... He did. He gave back the Edge. Side by side, became tag team champions. Let him become tag team champions.
Did he beat Edge?
No, they was champions.
Now, I know who did beat Hogan.
Who?
Kurt Angle.
Duh. Can I move on to my number 10?
No, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean. In TNA, I wish I could talk to Kurt Angle.
Okay.
I would just want to ask, what are you doing in TNA? Nothing about TNA is perfect for you. Mm-hmm. Especially right now. So.
I think he should start his own federation now?
No, I just think that if Kurt Angle is smart and he wants to think long-term, longevity, financial, he needs to go back to WWE. Mm-hmm. It maybe not in a wrestler, you know, but I'm sure Vince can find something for him to do.
Well, my number 10, you know, I thought about this, and I thought about this is if I was to do a top 10 show, and would this guy be in there? And I know you're going to disagree with me, but impact on the WWE was very substantial because of what happened, because of what he did. He had some good matches, some great matches. He had the ability to make you hate him. Very charismatic, whether it was on a heel or face. And may God rest his soul, the late great, the Rocket, the King of Hearts, Owen Hart.
I'm not mad about that.
Number 10.
I'm not mad about that.
Number 10.
I'm not mad about that at all. That's a shame because Owen still has so much more left to do. Yeah. I'm not mad about that at all. I respect Owen. I respect what he did. You know.
I just thought you might have said he should have been lower.
No. What I'm starting to understand is that this is your list. This is your list. So, you know, I see where Owen, that's a good spot for Owen. Owen was he wasn't main event, but he wasn't mid card. He was like right there.
But you could.
And it's only so it's like that. Like it would probably only be Owen that's right there. Either your main event or your mid card. Owen was like right there, and you just knew that, you know, if the tragic events that happened that night didn't happen, he was going to be a world champion. It's just a matter of time.
That. And it was a couple, like I said, in '94, you know, as I got older and matured, that a couple times he should have been champion.
No, let me ask you this, since you are an Owen Hart fan,
mm-hmm.
what was your favorite Owen Hart match?
My favorite Owen Hart match.
Boring!
Favorite Owen Hart match, there's a couple of them, actually.
Alright, well give me one. You give me one, I'll give you one right now. You give me one. I'm putting you on the spot in front of everybody out there right now. Favorite Owen Hart match?
Bret and Owen.
WrestleMania 10. I can do one better than that.
What?
I go to another WrestleMania. WrestleMania 8 against Skinner. That was a good match.
It was.
He came in the ring, flipped, spit in his face. Next thing you know, the match was over. Fastest winner Owen Hart's life.
Anyway, another good one before I move on to my number 9. I mean, it is what it is. It happened, but it was still a good match. Owen versus Stone Cold. Owen 316, I just broke your neck. And, you know, I mean, the run with Jeff Jarrett, great tag team, you know, but let me move on to my number 9. This guy right here could be number 1 on anybody's list. Actually, I'm going to tell you one thing. From 9 to 1, they could be number 1 on anybody's list. This guy right here, I mean, a good heel, a good face. In my opinion, a better heel. The guy who brought this very belt to the WWE, show it to him. That's the game, Triple H.
You have him above Owen Hart? I'm shocked about it. I'm shocked.
I mean, the world title.
I mean, I'm literally shocked by that. No. I know I've been sitting here playing and everything, but I didn't really think that you would have Triple H.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Triple H fan.
I'm a Triple H fan too, but
I've been a fan since.
You know, Triple H is going to change. I don't know if y'all know this or not, y'all that's watching the show and everything, but Triple H is actually, he's not going to be called the Game or the King of Kings no more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when he comes back after, I guess he's going to come back after this movie. And speaking of which, somebody on Facebook said, if you think the chaperone sucks, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, he's gonna come back with a new. I don't know if it's gonna be a new ring name, because you know you got so many cliches: the King of King,
the Cerebral Assassin,
right? Monarchy of the Mat, and all that. He's gonna come back with a new name, and right here, you heard it here first. Wrestle Talk with Band BDuB, Triple H, new name. If he spit the water, he do all that. Mr. Stephanie McMahon.
You heard it, folks. Oh man, my number 8. This guy,
like that one?
I love it. I love it. You know what? Before I came out here, and before me and Bear sat down, I reviewed some tape, and I quote Bear saying, "This guy at WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 4, WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 7, WrestleMania 8 had the best match on each of those cards." I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds to come up with who this guy is. For all our fans out there that's checked out all our shows, I want you to tell me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sarasota, Florida, weighing in at about 245 pounds, 370 pounds post-steroids. Ladies and gentlemen, the Macho King, Macho Man, Randy Savage. Macho Man is, oh yeah, dig it! Number 8. Great wrestler, great worker.
Are you still talking about Savage?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Savage was the best.
The name, you know.
That was the best. If you ever look at a Randy Savage match, it just looked like he just knew where to position you.
Yeah.
So where he knew where he was. The only other person I like see that with is Triple H, where they just know where they at, and by them knowing where they at, they know what direction they want to go in.
You know what? It's funny you say that, because you don't see all this in a Savage match. You know, when he ready to give you that elbow, his opponent, he'll have him positioned right where he need him to be. You know, you see John Cena might go in the corner. Yeah. If Rey Mysterio get ready to hit the 619, he got to slide over. Yeah. You ain't see that with a Savage match.
Savage was one of the Savage, man.
And I can
talk about him for hours.
Yeah, you know what though? He probably would have been higher on the list if it was a way that he would have stayed in the WWE for a much longer time. You know.
Well, I got to disagree with that, because at the time that he left, he wasn't really wrestling. I mean, but he wrestled Yokozuna, and you know that turned out to be the last match he had in at that time WWF. Going down there with Hogan, I didn't have a problem with it until he decided he was going to join the NWO. Okay. Once he got with that, then I was like, okay.
He was overshadowed because it was Hogan's show.
And they was blackballing him and everything like that.
But you know, and the reason why I say that, because when I said impact on WWE, remember, we're not just talking about wrestling skills, but Savage was a great wrestler. You know, I mean, if we made a list of wrestlers, he could easily be number 1. But he was a great wrestler, and he was an excellent commentator. You know, to have that Vince McMahon being the straight play-by-play down the middle. Then you had Bobby Heenan being the heel and Savage being the face, and them two clashing all the time.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those.
I don't. When I think of Randy Savage, okay, since we're not talking about what he did in the ring, when I think about him, I think about things like the colorful attire.
Okay.
Miss Elizabeth. Interviews that he would give. I'm too
Take
hot.
This
too
is
hot
yours.
to handle, too cold to hold. The way he would able freak out. Things like that when I think about him. Interviewing, you know, he was no Jerry Lawler or nothing like that, but
no, he wasn't. But
I just think that Vince was trying to get away from that whole Hogan era, and whether Randy liked it or not, he's a part of that era.
Yeah,
he's a part of that era. So,
but you could have took a Randy Savage. You imagine that's a Randy Savage match with a Triple H, a Randy with Rey Mysterio. You put Randy Savage in the ring with anybody, and like you said, give him back. You imagine who he would have built, like Undertaker, give him back. You imagine who Randy Savage would have built. I would like
Randy Savage built a kid from out of San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
Took him over to London, England, and had one of the best matches I've seen in my life. It's just a shame that it was only, 15, 20 minutes long because they wrestled. Savage was your wrestler. When he was a heel, you hated him. Yeah. When he was a face, you loved him.
Yeah. But my number 7, this guy did something Savage didn't do. Hogan didn't do. Stone Cold, The Rock, didn't do. This guy, all around wrestler, definitely one of the greatest, whether you're talking about entertainment, microphone skills, in-ring ability, high-flying ability, submission ability. I mean, he's one of all around greatest.
You say high flyer. Oh man, shit. You talking about the Brooklyn Brawler?
No. I'm talking about the guy who used to be the Ayatollah of rock and roller. But now...
You think Chris Jericho...
He's just Chris Jericho.
You think Chris Jericho is better than Macho Man Randy Savage?
By a twinge.
Well, if you don't start drinking them Four Locos.
I don't drink. So...
I did.
Jericho...
How do you have Chris Jericho better than Randy Savage when Chris Jericho has said that he looked up to Randy Savage?
Kobe looked up to Michael Jordan. Kobe passed Michael Jordan.
No. You're not going to hear one person agree with you.
I've had a couple of agreements.
I know. But if they did, they must have been smoking something.
But this is
not going to. If there wasn't a Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat Mania 3, there wouldn't be a Chris Jericho.
Jericho was great.
Jericho is great. I'm not taking nothing away from him.
Jericho was great.
But I don't even think Chris Jericho would sit there and say he should be in a position to where he's higher than Randy Savage. Randy Savage, when Randy Savage was good, he meant something to that company where, okay, you had your Hogans, you had your Warriors, you had all these big guys, Don Morocco, all these big guys like that. This was a 245-pound guy that could give you a match for 45 minutes. Okay.
But you also got Chris Jericho, who sat up there, if you wanted him to wrestle Rey Mysterio and jump off the top of the Titantron.
So could Randy Savage. Randy Savage would go in the ring and make any...
So can Chris Jericho. And you know what? And I'm going to just bring up something to you. Going to their WCW days, the best match that never happened, that they didn't really let happen, could have been him versus Bill Goldberg, but Goldberg didn't give that man his respect.
Who? Randy
Jericho.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, and Jericho, great submission style wrestler. Him and Benoit had probably one of the best matches at a SummerSlam, going 2 out of 3 falls. You can even say one of the best ladder matches at the Royal Rumble 2001. He beaten Austin and The Rock in the same night. Then, that was when he was the rock and roll star. But then, like you said, in a show that I date back to, where he recreated his character, said, I'm not going to give y'all what y'all want. I'm not going to be the Ayatollah rock and roll. I'm busting my tail for you guys, and now I'm all about me. And then you had Chris Jericho coming out with the suits, doing the code breakers. You know, every time he comes out, he redefines his character.
I got one thing to say. You give me a Chris Jericho match at WrestleMania, and I will rival that match with Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, at WrestleMania.
Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels.
Okay, and I will rival that match, and in those two, you will see my point. Randy Savage was better than Chris Jericho.
You know
why? Why?
Why?
Because he made Warrior look good.
Jericho made an old Shawn Michaels look good.
No.
What?
No. Listen to
Shawn
what you're
was
saying.
nervous.
Listen to what you're saying. You're saying, and again, you heard Chris Jericho say it. I looked up to Shawn Michaels. That match was built as your classic black belt fed on Channel 54 type thing. The master and the student. No one needs to make Shawn Michaels look good.
Shoot.
You needed to make the Warrior look good if you wanted to have a successful match with this guy.
This was Shawn Michaels' first match. Now, had it been Shawn Michaels, this is Shawn Michaels' first match in 5 years at a WrestleMania. Somebody need to make it look good. My number 6. Another guy could be number 1 on anybody's list. This guy...
You about to be number 1 on my list.
I know, I'm the greatest. This guy went out there, redefined his character. If you guys don't remember, a couple of days on Facebook, I put which versions of him was your favorite. This guy is The Undertaker, number 6.
Man, I thought you was sucking up spit or something. Undertaker, number 6. I disagree with that, and I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with it. In every facet of wrestling, sports, entertainment, anything, he's got to be in your top 5. Longevity, entertainment, wrestling, match value.
It's one thing he never did.
I just disagree with that.
It's one thing he never really was. He was never the sole face of the WWE. Now think about it.
What the blue hell is this for?
Just think about this, right? He was always... Alright. So when you think about the sole face of WWE, the one who's led merchandise... Listen.
Let me ask you this. When you say the sole face, are you talking about merchandise?
Merchandise. Every guy from 5 up. So
now I get it now. So now the top wrestler sold the most shirts.
Impact. You know.
Okay. Right. This is your list. I'm just saying.
But I mean,
for me, Undertaker would have been higher up.
Impact.
And Undertaker sell stuff.
He do, but these guys are better.
I got an Undertaker condom. So when, I'm not doing nothing, he's resting in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, we said we was gonna have a PG show. Apparently we not no more.
No.
Wrestling shouldn't be PG and neither are we.
No.
To take a condom.
And then,
I mean, I got an Undertaker yo-yo. Shout out to my brother, Colt Plater, who got it for me about 15 years ago for Christmas during the Attitude Era.
When it's time for him to rise. Yeah.
But think about it. When was the Undertaker the leader of the new generation? When was
Undertaker never had to be that. Look at
exactly.
how.
And that's why.
But you gotta understand something. This is where I'm coming from with mine when I say this. All joking aside, Undertaker came there, and let's put this in perspective. He was the first undefeated man to win the World Heavyweight title. The WWF World Heavyweight title.
He was.
He was the first undefeated man to do that.
And then lost it 2 nights later.
That's not the point. He lost it to what you're saying is as the guy who sell wrestling buddies and T-shirts, and I get all that. He's not the big money maker,
right?
Or is he? Because
it was always
no. Because now here you had this monster that was Hulk Hogan. Okay, now you looking at your list. Oh, he's on fought Savage. Can't put him up. Can't put him in there with Bret Hart. He's a $4 million man. I would like to see him with Dusty Rhodes, but Dusty Rhodes will out-wrestle him to death. Well, wait a minute. We got this Undertaker guy. Hogan's going to sell out. Undertaker. Put butts in seats. And you could be talking
Why?
about...
Because he had the little kids crying that night?
No. You could be talking about Hell in the Cell matches. You could be talking about Buried Alive matches.
And that's why he's number 6. You act like I made him number 20.
He could, like I said, he should be higher on the list. That's the Dead Man. That's Mark Calloway.
But Mark Calloway was not better than my number 5. My number 5, straight from Miami, Florida. Weighing in at 275 pounds, the great one, The Rock. Now you tell me The Undertaker had more of an impact than The Rock did in The Rock's limited time in the WWE.
The Undertaker had more of an impact in The Rock's limited WWE career. He did. I mean, yeah. Oh man, I see where you're going with this. I really do see where you're going with this. But The Rock was not better than Undertaker. If Undertaker talked on the mic as much as The Rock did, it'd be a different story. The Rock used to be able to talk to somebody for 15 minutes. That's not saying that. And even, God, no, The Undertaker should be higher than The Rock.
The Rock said, Undertaker, you come out with your Mickey Mouse tattoos going die, 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 and your 30-pound head.
Yeah,
and then Undertaker,
that's funny and everything.
That's what sold. That is what sold.
Okay.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Baltimore. That's what sold.
Okay, but let's go to the Wrestling Observers list. Where was Undertaker?
Undertaker was number 2.
Where was Rock?
Number 5.
Thank you.
Okay, that's their list. This is my list. My number 4. You might be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. You might be surprised. My number 4 is the Hitman, Bret the Hitman Hart. The excellence of execution. Let me tell you what this. I'm gonna tell you this.
I thought it would be number 20.
I'm gonna tell you what The Undertaker, your favorite guy, you know, rest in peace.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
This is what he said. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I know
He said when Bret Hart was champion, we made money. When Shawn was champion, sales went down. And I quote my man Cameron G out there who gave me that information. I like to quote my sources. That's what. Thanks, Cam, for that. Bret, number 4. Bottom line. And speaking of the bottom line, because we done already had this debate, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't checked it out, check out Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. We might have to do a part 2 to that show because we got some new boys.
No, we not. And let me respond to Cameron G.
Yeah, Cameron G.
Glee. Stop smoking. Stop smoking. Everybody knows that when Bret Hart was the champion, you know, yeah, the buy rates, everything like that was up. But at the same time, that's unfair to Shawn Michaels because look at who Shawn Michaels was fighting.
What, WCW?
No, let's look at who he was really fighting.
No, that's another story.
No, listen.
We got 3 more people.
Bret Hart was fighting Bulldog. He was fighting Taker. He was fighting like these really, really mammoth guys. The biggest guy Shawn Michaels fought was Vader.
Shawn Michaels fought Bulldog in your house. Shawn Michaels fought The Undertaker in your house.
Is that the same in your house where Ahmed Johnson beat Goldust?
Probably. It don't matter. They still fought. You saying who was fighting? You said who was he fighting?
Yeah.
I mean, if you say
while all of that is going on down south, you got something called the NWO.
Okay, your point.
Come on, of course Bret was going to do better. Money-wise, since that's what it's about.
That's what it's all about.
But who was the leader of the new generation?
Bret Hart. Then Diesel.
You need to get you a Bret Hart condom.
My number 3.
You too, Cameron G.
It's G, get it right. Don't disrespect the fans. My number 3.
How about disrespect him? We just got a difference of opinion. That's all.
Oh, you sound like the guy Allen. Y'all hate Brett so much.
Nobody hates Brett.
Why?
But you know what y'all do? Y'all sit here, we sit there and say Shawn Michaels is better than this. Well, Bret Hart wore pink and black. So what?
In any other business, the way Shawn Michaels was belly aching and crying, he would have been out.
What was Bret Hart doing?
What? Bret never refused the match. I told you. I didn't have this. He only refused.
I'm tired of getting screwed. I'm tired of getting screwed.
The man was screwed at the Royal Rumble. When Austin, I know where Austin wasn't. You know, Austin was out of the ring. You saw it.
I didn't see it.
Your streak didn't end until Over the Edge '99. You sure you saw it?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
You know, bottom line, my number 3 is the guy who Vince McMahon states was the greatest wrestler of all time, the greatest WWE superstar of all time. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
WFC.
I said WWE superstar of all time. That is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, the name says itself. Bottom line, Austin took it into WWE, took it to the edge. Was he better than Bret Hart? Wrestler-wise, no. Impact on the WWE, yes. Bottom line,
because he sold more shirts.
No, not even that. Because if it wasn't for Stone Cold beating Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14, which saved the WWE.
I'm surprised you say that.
Why?
I really am. I'm surprised you say that.
Why? I mean, I ain't the host of the host with the most of
that if it wasn't for Shawn Michaels dropping the belt to Stone Cold at Mania 13, that the direction that the business took wouldn't have happened. I'm shocked that you say that. Because Survivor Series, he fought a man by the name of Bret Hart. And they did a classic role reversal. Much like, I'm the heel, and you're the Tony Schiavone. Wouldn't you say that was the start to that whole thing happening? Him getting the belt and saying, okay, you're the crown jewel now. But when he fought Bret Hart, I'm going to whip his ass, I'm going to do this, flipping people off and everything. Wouldn't you say that match was responsible? I know you just didn't say a Shawn Michaels match was responsible. Wow. And my Flavor voice.
I'm going to tell you like this. Like I said.
Anyway, he said Shawn Michaels.
Stone Cold beating Shawn Michaels, because you know if Shawn Michaels would have kept the belt going on, first of all, he wouldn't have been physically able to do so. Second of all, I mean, they would have lost. They would have lost the ring. But Austin winning the title, if you want to put it like in your words, Shawn dropping the belt to Austin, that carried the WWE or F at the time to a new level, and that's what saved the WWF. Otherwise, they would have been on a sinking ship going down. And my number 2, in the greatest WWE wrestlers, performers, entertainers of all time,
BDuB's list,
is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Because Shawn Michaels, yes, he did wrestle in each and every era. Shawn Michaels did, when he was a heel, you hated him. When he was a face, you loved him, just like Savage. Shawn Michaels, bottom line, I mean, you know, he did give back. When did I start liking Shawn Michaels? When he turned around. Yes, I did not like. Then, yeah, I will go out there and say, overall, for the WWE's purposes, yes, he had more of an impact than Bret Hart, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Chris Jericho, Randy Savage, and so on. But I'm not going to do you the justification of staying on Shawn Michaels so long, because, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, I was going to say something though. Actually, no lie, I really don't think Shawn Michaels should be number 2. I don't think he should be number 1.
Okay.
I really don't. Yeah, Shawn Michaels contributed a lot for what it's worth, but, you know, there's always going to be controversy that's going to surround Shawn Michaels. And a lot of controversy, you know. The Montreal screw job, you know. Did he really have sex with Sonny? It's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that's going to surround, you know, Shawn Michaels. I think more of it is outside the ring than inside the ring, and because it's outside the ring, it hurt him. I'm happy that he's going into the Hall of Fame. He should have been there way before Bret.
You're still happy.
But I don't think he should have been that high. But thank you for making him number 2.
But if you guys don't know, and if you don't understand, this guy is the #1 greatest WWE superstar to ever grace the face of the company. This guy put the WWE on the map. This guy's the reason Bear and I is having this show. The reason we have the ability to have this show and have so many fans out there. You can love him. You can hate him. He brought this belt to the WWE. That's Hulk Hogan. Bottom line. #1 for the 80s into the 90s. The reason why everybody's watching.
Well, thank God that you got that out the way, because now Bear can give you his #1 and the #1 greatest superstar. That's what we said, right? Superstar.
And the superstar consists of so many different aspects.
Right. Superstar is the man who brought this belt to the WWF, and I'm talking about nobody other than Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
I mean,
what can you say? He was a superstar. He's a former heavyweight champion. He was at every WrestleMania. What can you say?
Vince wouldn't have put money. Vince behind the brain. Vince brains put money in their seats. The character Vince McMahon.
List is about superstars. Vince McMahon is a superstar.
I want to know, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get on the Facebook chat. Make sure you go on the page www.bearbdub.webs.com. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. I want to know, what do you guys really think about Vince McMahon being #1 on Bear's list?
I'll take it one further than that. You people out there, you fans out there, you wrestling fans out there, if you have a top 20, you put your list on there. We'll sit, we'll talk about it. If you think it's good, we'll mention it on our show. If we think it's garbage, you'll never hear.
We'll mention it on our show too, because I wanted to get those type of reactions out of you. Then again, I don't know, because you might insult the fans and might lose us fans.
I'm not going to insult nobody.
We got over 600 fans now. We getting up there. Thanks for joining the show.
I ain't going to insult nobody, but you know, a list of a list. I mean, somebody might have at the top of that list, you know, Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster.
You know he was supposed to be Mr. Perfect?
Yeah, I know that.
I knew you would.
I know that.
You got any trivia questions for our fans?
Trivia.
Because there was a guy, I forgot, I'm sorry, your name escapes me right now, but a guy who answered your question about the crippler, the first crippler.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I looked into the accounts.
Okay.
And it was a guy,
You going to people's accounts?
No, man, our account.
You know how much money I got in my bank? That's what
No, it's YouTube.
You blind the angle on me, boy? You blind the angle? No, go ahead.
And he said Ray Stevens was the first cripple.
Yes, it was Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevens.
So, when my co-host, who will, I guess, find your name, he should already knew who you was, and I'm sorry that he don't know who you are. He should have wrote it down, but he come over here with this lime green shirt on, making me want a sour apple. When he finds out who you are,
the apple, apple.
This is Polo.
This is Gucci.
Gucci?
Gucci.
Anyway, to whoever you are, you're absolutely right. The first Crippler was Ray, the Crippler Stevens, former AWA Tag Team Champion. Real big name out in the San Francisco area.
People don't know Larry Zbyszko said it one day on Worldwide when Chris Benoit was coming down the aisle.
Yeah. This guy, folks.
You're not.
This guy. Now, got another one for y'all. And for you people out there, you know, this is an interesting one because I'm sure nobody knows this. He didn't even know this. I had to tell him this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one out there.
Is the question where I think, you know, where our show is based?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, our show is based right out of Baltimore, Maryland, home of those good old Baltimore Orioles.
Here's the question.
In August, I want to see you do to make that same face when we on top of this division.
Here's the question. Okay? Here in Baltimore, why ain't even gonna say Baltimore? There's a former European champion and hardcore champion that was born in Bethesda, Maryland. You find out who it is, post it out there, BDuB, get back to me. And if you are right, if you can tell me who that champion is that was born in Bethesda, Maryland, I personally will get you one of these rings.
You got till the Elimination Chamber to do so.
When's the Elimination Chamber?
A week from today. A week from Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, so if you can tell me, you have to give me your name, you have to all that information, so that when I go ahead and I talk to my good peoples, my good homies, my peeps, I have your information. I can get you either this ring or the one like this idiot got to my left.
Whoa!
Well, I mean, you still got the WWE title. You know, it might be a woman. It might be AC Ray. She might know it. She might want a Davis ring.
That's not one person. That's 3 women.
Oh. Well,
it's Tracy, Stacy, and Desiree.
Oh, okay.
Shout out! Make sure you guys check out their show. It's called the AC Ray Show.
Hey! We're doing a promotion here, and I'm trying to get these people involved into our show. And you want to talk about the Ray CA show? Look. European champion, hardcore champion, born in Bethesda, Maryland. If you know who it is, like I said, send it in, and if you're right, I will absorb the expense of purchasing for you one of these rings that you see us wear right here on Wrestle Talk Bear. BDuB, tell me which one it is. If they have it, I'll get it for you, and it's going to cost you nothing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this episode of Wrestle Talk with Bear and BDuB. Bear, tell them what our next show is going to be.
What is our next show going to be?
Bear, you supposed to know this.
Huh?
Who will win the fight between the Great Khali and Andre the Giant?
I thought we said we was gonna put that one. We're gonna put that one back some.
You right.
Yeah, we said we was gonna put that one back. Our next show is gonna be about. Well, I don't know if I want to do that one either.
Which one? But what show you want to do, Bear?
Let's do a good one. Let's do a good one. Let's do. All jokes aside, let's do a real good sensitive one. Let's talk about steroids.
Steroids?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, steroids. You know, the things you take that made your head so big. I don't take steroids.
I mean, you're bigger than me, so I mean.
I ain't bigger than you. It's just that Coogee shirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next show is going to be on steroids. And we'll also have another show we're going to talk about the top Hall of Fame snubs.
That's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to that show.
Yeah, now can I promote my friends now?
Go ahead, promote you.
Ladies and gentlemen, like I said.
And that's it, folks. We're out of time. For BDuB, I'm Bear. And just remember, the pleasure was all yours.
If you don't know your role, shut your mouth, stay over to my right. Let me get their show out, because they would do the same for us.
Their shout out.
No, I didn't. That was before commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out the AC Ray Show. I will post the website on our Facebook page. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you'll enjoy the show. Thanks for joining this episode of Wrestle Talk with Bear and BDuB. BDuB, this is Bear. So long, everybody.